Christina.
Good afternoon. I'm going to tell you a little bit about PS24 in Brooklyn, and then I'm going to tell you a little story about some of our students. PS24 is a pre-K to 5th grade zoned neighborhood school in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. Around half of our students are English language learners. 95% of our students are free or reduced lunch kids. That's another way of saying that they are poor. Around 22% of our students are students with disabilities. They have individual education plans, IEPs. We have a wonderful dual language program. Half of our students are learning in both English and Spanish. We're considered to be a model for dual language in the city of New York. And we have many visitors come and see what we're doing. We also have a lot of visitors come and see what we're doing around social emotional learning. We have a very strong partnership with Morningside Center for Teaching Social Responsibility. We teach our kids to resolve conflicts peacefully. We give them communication skills. We explicitly teach them about diversity and have them engage in cross-cultural learning. We have a wonderful partnership with Learning Leaders, and I think the name of that organization is apt because I think what we're seeking in our school is to build parent leadership. Our parents can be seen throughout the school day learning in classrooms so that their children can walk by and see them learning English. They can be learning Spanish literacy because many of our parents come as immigrants and are illiterate in their first language. They come on Saturdays and they're learning English. They engage in parenting classes. They take trips to cultural institutions throughout New York City. And they are developing leadership. They work sometimes with our teachers to present forums on how our children learn best to their fellow parents. So yeah, we think that parent involvement, parent engagement, parent leadership are key to children becoming involved. And we find that our students that are the children of immigrants, those are the families that show up solidly for those parent-teacher conferences. Those are the parents who get their kids to school clean and on time and with respect for the teacher. And we capitalize on that, and we see the progress that our children make as a result. And your story of your family, Meryl, makes me think of our families as well. Now I'm going to tell you a little anecdote, and that is a story about what happened last week with some of our students. Last week, as many of you know, we had the 3 testing days for the New York State English Language Arts exam.
I heard the tests were really hard.
Well, you know, I think that they were fair. Third, fourth, and fifth grade, I would say that they were fair. The tasks and the tests were all things that we would want our kids to be able to do. But there's other factors that go into play, and you know, we're very data-driven in our practice in many different levels. So I appreciate you saying that. But there are many things that influence the data, and this is where the story comes into play. It was the first day of this 3-day series of exams, and we have a family, an extended family in our school. There are, I guess, around 6 cousins, 3 sets of siblings. They all live in very difficult housing, in a small kind of wood frame building where people, more than one nuclear family is sharing one apartment, and there's brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws and all these children, and they came to school, took the tests, they were on time. Last Tuesday, they were compliant all day with everything they needed to do. At the end of the day, one of the little boys broke down to his teacher, a 3rd grader, and revealed that the night before, his cousin had been throttled around the neck by her father. And there was a huge scene in the household. The mother of this little girl, who had been strangled and her head bashed against the wall, she took her daughter and the big brother, our 5th grader, to the emergency room, and they were there all night. Someone else called the police, and the child's father was arrested and taken away. All the children in the household witnessed this. It was a huge disruption. They were very, very shaken up, and yet where were those children, all 6 of them, at 8 o'clock the next morning? They were in school. They sat and they took the test. The families, those mothers, got those children to school to take the test. We didn't find out until later in the day when the one child broke down what had happened. At that point, you know, all our systems kicked in, the guidance counselor, the social worker, you know, contacts with the families. However, these children, you know, I wonder how they really did on that test, because they were pretty upset and pretty distracted. And the next morning, when they all showed up, you know what I did? I gave them a break, and the one little girl, she actually put her head down on a table somewhere, and she slept through day 2, and she's going to be given a makeup test. But you know, it just makes you wonder how they can do when there are often very, very difficult living situations. And I think that their true achievement will not necessarily be reflected on that particular test from that particular day. So I just wanted to share the complexity of some of what we deal with in the trenches.
Thank you. That's